This is coming from NJ.com, Stacy. Quote, according to the source, a source they had, the Marlins have been pushing hard for Gleyber Torres, but the Yankees' asking price has been too steep for their liking. And this is odd, Stacy. We actually know what the asking price is in this case. According to the source, is saying two 25-year-old starting pitchers, right-hander Edward Cabrera and lefty Braxton Garrett, plus two other prospects. Braxton Garrett, Edward Cabrera, I've gotten to see personally, in AAA last season while they were with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Both great arms and interesting. Again, we don't typically get what the parameters of a trade were when they don't end up coming to fruition, right?
Yeah.
It's a high asking price. That's a lot. 4-for-1 swap for a year and 2 months of Gleyber seems pretty high.
Yeah. Maybe if Gleyber Torres had continued his torrid 2019 pace for the past 4 years, then maybe. But even then, that seems like a pretty steep price for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking we were pitching Shohei trades months ago like everybody else was, I mean, we're going like 5-for-1 swaps there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that you should for Shohei Ohtani. Yeah.
And that's more like 5-for-2 swap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So Gleyber's got all of this year and all of next year. He has an arbitration year next season in 2024. And look, he hasn't been perfect, clearly, but he's been playing really well since the All-Star break. And if you take away his worst month in June, batting average, Stacy, 282. If you get rid of June. And that's 3 months worth of baseball. That's pretty consistent hitting.
Yeah.
And he's been one of the brighter spots of the Yankees' rough offense this year, to be serious. Like, seriously, he has been pretty darn good this year.
Oh, yeah. He's usually the one that's hitting in the games that they don't end up winning. Like, you'll have like a couple of Gleyber hits and no one else does anything or feels that way. It's I don't know what they should do. I don't think they're going to do this, but I'm just surprised that they're asking for starters when that's the least of their worries right now. I mean, you're trading away one of your better hitters, one of the only guys that provides offense for you, and you're going to trade him for two starting pitchers, which doesn't make sense unless they were thinking of making another move to compensate for that and get another bat. But that,
yeah, I mean, they have. Yeah, I think that's more a future move. That's a more looking to the future, like more immediate future, like next couple of years, not 5 years, 6 years down the line. You're looking more Edward Cabrera. He can pitch in the majors. Braxton Garrett, he can pitch in the majors. Like, you have these guys like back end guys right now that might continue to or will continue to progress and move up in your rotation. Like, I get that side of it.
Yeah.
Because obviously, but it's just too high. It's just too high.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think like, you go 2-for-1 swap here. I think a Cabrera and Garrett for Torres
without the prospects.
Without the prospects, I think may go a little bit more. We're not selling, but we're kind of selling, but not really. Like, it's like, look, is Gleyber going to get you to the promised land and for the Yankees this season? No, like, he's not. No. You'll gladly take the offense that you're getting from him. He's been good, but that's not changing the tides. Clearly, it's not changing the tides.
Yeah.
But for a team like the Marlins, who is looking to add a little bit more of a quote unquote veteran present, a guy that's been there a little bit more than some of those other young guys, that makes sense. That makes total sense for them. And they have a surplus of pitching, which they've had for a while now. Surplus of young pitching, which the Yankees, of course, last season gave up a good chunk of young pitching.
Yeah, that's true. That kind of that part of it makes sense, but it's just funny because they need offense in the worst way if they're wanting to do anything. So
that's what I'm saying. I think this is more, a more immediate future. Not this year, but next 2-3 years. I think that's where their heads are at in that trade. I would drop down the asking price if you're going to get rid of Gleyber. Then I think a lot of it still has to do with they don't trust Oswald, which is fair. Fair, because they haven't really given him the chance to show, but it's fair.
Yeah. I was going to say, they haven't really given him a chance, though, which is what they love to do.
Sure. I think if this were to go through, which it doesn't seem like it's going to at this point, you call Oswald back up, You put Oswald at second. You move DJ to third on a regular basis, and then depending on the return, if you have these guys, if you have Garrett, you have who was the other one? Cabrera up, not Oswaldo, Edward Cabrera.
Yeah.
You'd have to add to the 40 here, depending on how it ends up coming. So I think you might add an Andres Chaparro or Wilmer Difo if you're looking for an infield spot to be added to the 40-man roster. That's pretty far out there at this point, though, because this doesn't seem like it's going anywhere, and I don't think the Yankees are really going to drop their asking price, right?
Right. No.
It's weird. I don't know.
Kim Ng is going to be like, no.
Yeah, that's way too much for Kim Ng.
No.
Which is fair. Again, I don't think she should make that move.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Nope.
That's too much. That's too much to make a run this year when you obviously have a window is opening in Miami, right? Yankees have a window kind of closing.
It's not kind of
not closed. Not closed.
But it's not kind of. It is closing. It's closing.
But you still got Judge and you still got Cole. Like there's still pieces there.
Yeah.
It's not like this is it. This is the last. It's not like the Angels.
Right.
The Angels are like, this is it, guys. This is all we got.
We're going all in.
Yeah. That's a very different situation. Very different situation. But I mean, if the Yankees were buying here full-fledged and believed in this team, which again, I don't think they do. I don't think they believe in this team, at least to the point where they're really going for it. They would be making moves like the Angels have been making. Yes. Why wouldn't you go get CJ Cron? Right? You need a first baseman.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
You need an outfielder. Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, you needed an outfielder. Bellinger's off the market as we learned over the weekend because the Cubs can't lose anymore. But why if you were worried about Sevy, why didn't you go out and look for Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito,
Jordan Montgomery,
right? There were not like massive. I mean, Giolito was obviously the biggest one, but I mean, there were options out there, and it seems like the deadline unofficially moved forward.
Yeah,
because these moves happened. And
it was like bang, 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 all in a row. Yeah, it was weird. Like Sunday was really busy.
Yeah, real busy. And that's why I was saying earlier, this is the trade deadline as itself might actually be kind of a dud because most of the big names are off the board. What's his name? Bellinger's off the board, which probably means Stroman's off the board, right?
Yeah.
Like he's.
Oh yeah, because the Cubs are probably thinking we have a shot. We're probably gonna try and go for this. So.
And it wouldn't make sense to trade Stroman and not Bellinger.
Right. Yeah. So. I saw that as not a package deal, them together, but both of them going somewhere.
Lynn.
Kind of like Giolito. Like how Rizzo and Bryant went.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you could make that swap if it made sense, 2 for 6 or whatever it ended up being. But no.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, again, we're going to go live with that, and we'll see if, for whatever reason, the Cubs trade Stroman. That's not going to happen. That'd be the weirdest thing to happen. But you guys can hang out with us live again. If you're at work, bring the headphones, and we'll be hanging out with you guys. And let us know how you're feeling about the Gleyber package. Is it too high for your liking? Would you think Cabrera and Garrett are enough for Gleyber, like I think? Let us know down below here on the YouTube side.